G'day, Alistair here. In this video, we are not going to make limoncello because I don't have any lemons. What I do have is these, you might call them bitter lemons. They're grapefruit. So we're going to make grapefruit cello. And to do that, we're going to need a number of grapefruit. So maybe 4 or 5, something like that, depending on their size. We're going to need some alcohol. I have some 40% vodka here. A lot of people say that you want higher proof alcohol, like 80, 90%, something like that. But I found that 40% is fine. Basically, use what you've got. Also, some sugar syrup, a jar, and a peeler. And that's basically enough. So the sugar syrup we will need much later. But what we're going to do is peel some of these grapefruit and put them into a jar. So peeling is easy enough. Now ideally you want to avoid as much of the pith as possible, and we just want the peel. So I'm just going to go around. So we can see that I've got a little bit of pith. And what you can do if you're particularly paranoid is you can scrape that away with a knife. I'm not, and so I'm going to start filling this jar. Now, basically we need enough peel to loosely fill the jar. And so I'm just going to carry on peeling, and I don't want to apply too much pressure while I'm peeling because I'm trying to avoid getting much of the pith. Now, basically there's grapefruit. The reason I'm not making limoncello is we don't have many lemons on our trees, but we do have a grapefruit tree, and it is loaded with grapefruit. And I can't say I'm the biggest fan of grapefruit, but grapefruit cello is all right. Now it is quite a lot more bitter than limoncello, and so I would think limoncello is better. You can make limoncello with just about any kind of citrus. I would definitely recommend lemons and limes being the best, but I have used mandarins and tangelos as well, and combinations just depending on what fruit has come off the tree at the time. And we go there, 1 grapefruit down. No, 2 grapefruit rather. Okay. Now, a lot of people recommend not using store-purchased fruit because they tend to have like a wax coating or something like that on them, which is going to interfere with your flavor. Personally, I have not tried it with store-bought stuff. I have no shortage of citrus fruit growing. Okay, that's 3 down. Okay, obviously the pith is going to have more bitterness than the peel, and so for the cleanest possible flavour, you do want to scrape it off, but I am not too fussed. Okay, maybe last one, or we might have to grab one more. Okay, I could probably squeeze one more in there, but I think that'll do just fine. And now we want to top that up with whatever neutral spirit you've got lying around. And this is one I distilled earlier. It's been proofed down to 40%. I don't like to store high proof alcohol, anything that's above 50% ABV, because it's flammable. And we are not good in case of house fire. And so, whoops. Okay, and I am almost inclined. I'm going to grab another grapefruit. There we go, there's another one. Let's make sure there's not too much on it. Okay, I'm just going to top that all the way up. Okay, and now we want to leave that for between 3 days and 3 months. So usually about a week I find is just fine, but you can leave it longer and you'll get more of the oils and things out of the peel. Usually the first 3 days gets the most out, and then it's kind of diminishing returns after that. So, but you can leave it for months if you want. It is a good idea to label what you have made. So I'm just going to say grapefruit. And say it's 40%, and it is 40% alcohol. And I want the date. And I'm just going to, so I often just use this insulation tape for labeling things. And it's a good idea to label everything. I'll put it on top. So that's grapefruit, 40%, and today's date, and that can go away. Now, if you don't label something, you're going to end up with a bunch of jars of, well, let's grab one. Here I have a jar that is of something. I'm pretty sure that'd be 40%. It is probably lemon, maybe lime. I don't think it's grapefruit. It possibly might be, but we'll open it up and have a look. So do label, otherwise you have no idea what you've made. So I'm going to take my citrus something or other. I think it's limes. It smells really good. So, and what I want to do is measure it out. So I'm just going to pour it into there. And just get as much of that as I can. And that is an excellent colour. And we have what looks about 300 mils, 300 and maybe 325, something on that order. So what I want to do is dilute that down, because if I taste that, that is quite a little bit bitter, definitely very citrusy, and that color is excellent. But what I want to do is take this, and I'm going to take this up to just over 600 mils. And give that a quick mix. Yes, and that tastes excellent. So that is the basics of making a citruscello. So yeah, use any kind of citrus fruit you like, anything you can get your hands on. And I'll now want to put that into a bottle and label it. As an alternative to peeling, you can use a microplane. Now, these are quite dangerous because they are extremely sharp, but you can take your grapefruit. My suggestion is you put the microplane down and grate around it, just taking off the top of the peel. And you can then put that in a jar, and you'll end up with this fine grapefruit peel, chopped, super fine. But what it does result in is a little bit cloudy, but you'll get more flavor out because it's much smaller, much more surface area. So I've tried both. I find microplaning is pretty easy, although you do need to be very careful with it. But as you can see, using peel leads to a very clear product. I have a wine bottle, and I'm just going to pour this in. I find pouring via the spout tends to dribble a bit, so pouring side on seems to be more effective. Okay, and ready for labeling. Have you ever wondered why grapefruit are called grapefruit? Clearly it's not because of the taste, because they taste nothing like grapes, but it is because they grow in bunches, much like grapes. So that is where their name comes from. And as you can see, there are a lot of grapefruit growing in here. I have the opportunity to make a very considerable amount of grapefruit cello. I reckon there's probably 100 grapefruit left there. So yeah, do the math. So here is a bottle of grapefruit cello I prepared earlier. It is made with zest. So let's pour a glass. So as you can see, its clarity is not as good as from using the peel, but it tastes pretty good. I would say limoncello is a lot better though. So I definitely rate lemons, limes, mandarins, tangelos, I haven't tried oranges yet, as being better than grapefruit. But if life won't give you lemons, don't make limoncello, make whatever you can. So grapefruit cello in this case. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you in a future one. I thought I would finish up by juicing these bitter lemons. Citrus juice can be frozen in ice block trays and stored in a bag in the freezer as cubes for use later. However, in this case, I'm going to mix with equal parts sugar syrup and make a rather high-calorie fruit drink. Thanks for watching to the end. Remember to like and subscribe to my rather eclectic channel, and I'll see you in a future video.